Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
It's a gorgeous sunny day here at Moi Forces Academy, Lynette. We're bringing you the Nakuru edition of the Great Debaters Contest. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Today we have Weru School going against Wanjohi Mixed, and the motion is Africa should increasingly use technology to improve the quality of education. Mariam, what do you think? iPads instead of exercise books?
I don't think one can replace the other. We'll have the debaters take the stage now. Proposal number one, you have 3 minutes.
First, I would like you to understand the motion. It shows that we already have the technology. The only thing that we need is to improve on it. On my first point is we say seeing is believing. We are all high schoolers, right? I think we have our teachers organizing on some clips that we go, for example, okay, we might have a hall like this one, and we find that we'll have a biology, let's say we have a biology lesson and we'll be explained using a clip, and by the time, the moment you talk, you see probably the photograph or the explanation, I think you understand much more better, right? Okay, on my second point, I'll talk of time saving. Okay, for example, you're having a mathematics test and you find a question talking of a number of, probably you take 75 plus 80 times 90 or something of that sort. You'll take too much time to take to on writing, but the moment you have a calculator, oh my God, that thing becomes so easy. And on my third point, we'll talk of creativity and innovations. For example, you have a laptop in class, right? Okay, probably you get bored, or even you're at home, you get bored, you take your phone or your laptop probably, and then you start probably you start playing games like chess. Chess makes you think critically. Since you don't have those or even cards, you'll have to think, and that will help you improve on your thinking capacity. Thank you.
Now may we have the first opposer take the stage, please?
The difference between Jupiter, Jasper, and Justice is I. For I go by the name Anne Juliet Wanjiro from Weru High School. I stand strong to oppose the motion that states Africa should increasingly use technology to improve the quality of education. What is Africa? Africa, we are Africa. We are the people. Africa is the people who make the African continent. What is technology? Technology is the equipment that we use to make our lives more simpler. What is education? These are learning skills. These are the things that we do that will help us understand, have knowledge and skills. Now, before I start on my points, I would like to ask my opponent some questions. She talked about seeing and knowing. Technology will help in seeing that, I guess something like seeing. Now my question is, we have always had the technology. We talk about online laboratories, but there's nothing as much as painful as seeing a student who has always had a laptop in the class, but when he's given or a period to use, he or she cannot use. Where does this lead us? Where is this taking us? You see, your hands, your eyes, touching and seeing will give you the knowledge to understand on what you're doing. Now, on to my first point. Technology creates an independence. What do I mean? With the use of technology, we are creating people who cannot use their own minds, their own capabilities to think and to do the right things at the right time. Now, we are trying to create a generation that will always depend on technology so that we are able to move forward. But we are forgetting that you are an independent person. Even the ones who are born twins were born, one came at this time and the other came at the other time. But we are forgetting, we are trying to bring the issue of technology being a supportive issue that will help us to move forward. No, this is not right, and I oppose this. Let's try to make a generation that can stand for themselves. Let's try to make a generation that will think with their own minds. On to my second point. Technology has created a lot of cyberbullying. What do I mean? Brandy Vela, an 18-year-old girl from the USA, committed suicide simply because she was cyberbullied because of her weight. How many more people do we want to lose? How many more students, how many more young people do we want to lose simply because we want to introduce a simple thing as technology that will simply help us move forward? Do you want to continue losing the people who will help us move forward? Food for thought.
Okay, we'll hear cross-examinations now. Proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Christopher Wakanene, ready to propose the motion. Again, seeing is believing. Guys, I think you do agriculture. There is topic called agriculture economics. Guys, you just deal with machines. But dear friends, can you imagine just theoretical, you just see and you don't know what you are talking about. My friend, can you imagine? And a point of correction, my friend. Technology does not only imply with a laptop, even a smartphone. It's a technology. My friend, let me echo your point that with technology, we just have to save time. Dear audience, can you imagine a teacher getting into a classroom and ask, what is Jurassic? Will you start just finding your dictionary? My friend, can you imagine you're just having your smartphone there? There you are. Recently, we have smartphones with a dictionary. You just access, type, and I think the meaning is just pop there. And someone just stand here telling us, where? On to my first point, guys. With this technology, guys, we need to go far. Take, for example, a country like South Africa. Already, they are developing countries in Africa. But we look at those already developed countries. They are outside. Guys, a country like Japan, which have come with these cars, they've just started. Guys, and you hear someone standing here. Hey. Dear audience, can you just imagine you are there in a school, a teacher coming here in front of you to just dictate exams? Huh? But with these photocopiers, which are technology, guys, with these photocopies, printing machines, we just make work easier. Do you agree with me? Absolutely, yes. Guys, this is the technology we need. We want to just be with trading theory with those already developed countries for a fair trade competition. Guys, this is the technology we need. Talent wins games. Intelligence wins championship. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your cross-examination. You also have 3 minutes.
Masters of destiny are the mistresses of success, technology being the hindrance to all. I'm Lisa Kimani from Weru High School, here to oppose the motion that states, Africa should increasingly use the technology to improve the quality of education. I have a question. What were our forefathers and our parents, what were they using before technology was introduced into Africa? Now this leads to unemployment. Take an example in Nigeria. There are robot teachers. That robot teacher can teach 4 classes in just a lesson and cover almost 3 syllabuses. Doesn't that lead to unemployment? This technology also leads to health problems. Text necks, eye problems. Did you take your children to school to have medical bills or them to develop in their heads? Technology is so expensive, the cost of the electricity. Do you think that electricity is that simple to install? Not everyone can afford electricity. Transport, the transport of transporting all this technology to one place. Not all schools can afford this technology, and we all know that. Maintenance, it's not very easy to maintain. You can find a student doesn't know how to operate the computers and all that stuff. But is it easy to maintain it when it's in their hands? No. The security, it depends on the security around the school. Can you have computers? Can you have all these large equipments without security? They're easily going to be stolen. Employment, as I've talked about. The network management, it's not that the government will be able to cater for all these Wi-Fi connections, the schools, and such. The cost of repair and replacement. It's not easy to replace 6 laptops, 6 computers, 6 projectors, and all that. The application, or as they say, they hang, don't they? When you use your computers and use all that stuff, doesn't it hang sometimes when you're searching for information? And it doesn't have to apply that. You have to depend on technology to find a certain word like geologist. The person who introduced the word geologist, or whatever you were saying, was not so stupid enough to compose a word and not write it in the books. That's how you find things out. You just don't have to depend on technology. You have to depend on your mind. We are creating a generation that will depend on our minds, not on technology. Not all students can adapt to this pace of technology. Not all students can adapt to it. There are slow learners, there are category of fast learners, and there are those who only learn at the right pace. So when you're talking about technology is important, I don't think how it is important.
Thank you very much to the audience. The proposers have been asked if increasing use of technology will not cause an increase in immorality as well among young people. And the opposition have been asked that they said that the use of technology, that we should use our minds as opposed to technology, but is it not minds that create technology and use it? So we'll have them respond to those queries. Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes.
I'm Peter Kehumba from representing Wanjohi Mix. Actually, using technology will not mean that immorality will be increased. First of all, remember, even before smartphones and other gadgets were introduced, immorality was still there. For example, magazines have been used since early 1960s, and they also contained images of like pornographic images. Then I want to propose my fellow colleague here about transport. Imagine a lecturer teaching in Kenyatta University having to travel from Nairobi to go to give a student in Kisii assignment. Don't you think we are using our small revenue money for transporting that lecturer? Also, in terms of using those transport money, we think we are not saving our times properly. So, also in terms of security, give an example of a school like Wanjohi School, which have placed ICCTV all around the school. Do you think a student can do any immorality things and there is CCTV where he's being seen by everybody in the school? So I think when we use technology, we shall improve the security of our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Now, the world is not bad because of the bad people in the world. But you know why it is bad? Because of the silence of the good people in it. And you know, that's why I want to keep quiet on this issue. Now, the third proposer have said that in Mango School, I don't know, we have CCTV. In Mango School, you cannot be criminal. In Mango School, you cannot, I don't know. So, let me tell you one thing. For example, I, Daniel Nganga from Weru, if the CCTV can prevent me from being immoral, if the CCTV can prevent me from doing bad things, when I go home, does the CCTV follow me? No. Again, when I go home, does the school administration follow me? No. But again, I know you can oppose me because you say that the parents are there. For example, my mother works in the TSC. My father, the same. So all the day long, they're in the job. I'm alone in the house, especially with the maid. Anything can happen. Yes, by the way, anything can happen. So it doesn't mean that the use of technology is leading more. That the use of technology is reducing in behaviors. Never, never. It is increasing. Now, for example, we have the case of the new game that is in the internet, the Blue Whale game. Just imagine how can technology bring about a game that the last step is how to commit suicide. I'm asking, does the technology improve or does it bring creation of lives or does it bring destroying of lives? Lives belong to God. God created life and he has the only role of taking life. Now, for example, that game has created or has taken 6 lives of children. Did we take children to school? Do we take our children to school to be killed? Never. We took students to school to learn. So I'm Daniel. Now, to my first point, the use of technology or use of increasing technology in education will be opposed by the problem of radicalization. Now, recently, we had the case of that young man from Egerton University who was recruited to the Al-Shabaab. Now, my question is to the audience, to my opposers, to my fellow proposers, and the others. Did you take your child to school to be radicalized? Did you take your child to school to be an Al-Shabaab member? No. If I'm parent, I have a son called, let's say, Kenyajui. I took him to school to get study. I took him to school to have that knowledge, but did not take my child to school to get radicalized to illegal groups like Al-Shabaab. You know why? Technology is leading to insecurity seriously. Because, for example, in our school, well, high school, let's say technology will lead like to 10 students being radicalized or 10 students being recruited to the Al-Shabaab. Now, what is the state of our school in 10 years to come? Every day you'll be here, every day you'll be hearing bombing, every day you'll be hearing Al-Shabaab's Al-Niwel school. And they were brought by a person like Daniel who was forced to that thing by technology. So simply, we have to eliminate technology. So, to get a child is one thing. To bring up a child is another thing. So to have technology is one thing. To make technology effective is another thing. Thank you.
Final submissions now. Proposition, you have a minute.
Dear audience, we have the great debaters contest. Is it being brought live to KBC Channel 1? An educative channel, because this is technology. Look at EduTV. We have those SETI books because of this technology. Guys, my friend just talked about transport, I don't know, maintenance cost, that is. Guys, but can you imagine I myself having a smartphone costing 7,000. Each and every day, he or she buys an exercise book, and not 11 of them. Guys, not 11 of them with this economy.
Opposition, you also have 1 minute for your final statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me make one thing clear. Not everyone can afford a TV, a computer, a laptop, and everything that he just talked about. Let's try and consider those who cannot afford everything. Now, I have a sack full of potatoes. Unfortunately, one of the potatoes is rotten. As a wise farmer, what am I supposed to do? destroy the whole sack of potatoes? Or should I eliminate the only remaining potato that is about to make my whole sack of potatoes rotten? Now, the sack full of potatoes happens to be the education sector. The potatoes in the sack happens to be us. And this one rotten potato happens to be the technology. Now, what is the wisest thing to do? To destroy the whole sack of potatoes, or to destroy that one rotten potato? To destroy the education sector, or to destroy this one thing called technology that is about to diminish us to the end? As a wise farmer, I think you should do the right thing. Food for thought.
To Wanjohi Mixed Secondary, I'll start with Maureen. Maureen, you came as the first speaker. You started off well, though I felt you should have expressed the understanding of the motion by introducing the motion and the definition of terms. Christopher, you had a very good cross-examination, though the interjections, the humor, you engaged the audience, you connected with the audience, but the interjections like where, then I don't know, I felt they were not meaningful. Take note on that. Peter, you were too brief. Check on your time.
So the motion was Africa should increasingly use technology to improve the quality of education. To Weru School, you know, have there been significant positive changes enough to warrant us to say that, listen, let's do this, all right, or let's stop this? Because I think somebody would reason out and say, listen, there are people who would never read a book from a tablet or anything else. They just love to touch the pages. Use such things and convince us on such ways. And let me just go to specifics now. To Mary Lisa, on the other end, I think you came out as a person who was really focused on just giving submissions of the motion. I remember the technology is expensive, maintenance, security, and all those things. All you need to do now is work on persuasion, all right? So that was commendable for your team. Daniel, I can't forget to mention you because of your submissions. I love the fact that you alluded to the latest example of blue whale. That was good because we have had a lot of talks on that. Because some teenagers have lost their lives because of such things. That was commendable of you. That tells us your research and you know a lot about what is happening. Just avoid introducing yourself several times. I think you introduced yourself 3 times in between the debate. And just check on mastery of language across the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Weru School and Wanjohi Mixed. The judges awarded Wanjohi Mixed 60%. Please give them a round of applause. Weru School, the judges saw it fit to award you 64%. You're our winners for the debate.
Congratulations to Weru School, and of course a good job to Wanjohi Mixed Secondary School. A thank you to our audience for being participative and giving us good questions and always being supportive of the teams on stage. And thank you at home for watching as well. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.